Hello,
Hi!
and welcome to our next episode of Too Young for This, Too Old for That.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. I'm Angie. She's Annie.
Hello.
There's 30 years between us, and but not much else. As if you've watched the last episode, you will know that we are very good mates. And we're really glad that you have engaged with us and trust us enough to have sent us in a whole load of questions for us to answer in this very special
Agony Aunt edition.
So, as two gobby women, we're very happy to give our advice. So thank you for trusting us.
It's Good Friday. It's Easter. Happy Easter when we're recording this. It won't go out at that time. And I can't think of a better way to spend our Friday.
Exactly. All right, shall we go?
I'm really excited.
Are you ready? Okay. So this is from Brian, who said, I'm in my 50s and I want to start something new, but there's a voice in my head that says I'm too late.
Brian. My God, you know what though? I'm sure it's a question that a lot of people who listen to this podcast probably resonate with and understand, because it's also like a topic that, you know, appears in the pod all the time. Well, Angie is someone who's like changed career. You didn't change it necessarily in your 50s, but you pivoted. How old were you when you made that decision to leave banking?
Early 30s, something like that. 30s. Yeah, I think it depends what it is. So we don't know what the decision or the new thing that Brian wants to start is. So if it is a new relationship, who knows? Yeah. If he wants to run away from his family, if he wants to
do a Philip and come out as gay.
Philip and come out as gay.
No, I'm not.
If he wants to start a podcast, if he wants to,
I think
take up, I don't know,
a new activity.
Yeah.
I think if it's like a career thing, which was my initial jerk reaction, again, it depends, like, okay, do you want to, because I met someone at a networking event Angie and I went to, and he said that he was about to retire and he was pushing 60, and he changed, instead of retiring, he changed his whole career from like corporate to training to be a teacher in 1 year, and is now a teacher at like a senior school in London. So I do think it's kind of like, you should never put like a cap necessarily in your dreams, but maybe just put a little lovely. But put a little like sprinkle of like, okay, but what's within my remit? Like, I know I'm not going to go up in Artemis and fly around the moon tomorrow, and nor do I really want to. But there's definitely, I think, rooms to be, you know, there's space to evolve. And then also, especially if you're taking up a new hobby, if this is about a hobby, just do it. Just do it. If you want to go rock climb, just do it, Brian.
I think if it's not going to hurt anyone else,
Yeah.
and it's something that you really want to do, there's nothing's too late.
I think life's too short not to just give it a go. And
Yeah.
you only get, you know, today is the youngest you're ever going to be.
Hammy. She's swallowed some sort of wisdom book today. Actually, there's a lady who came on retreat with me earlier this year or last year, and her husband is 66 and he's retired and he's doing a master's in particle physics.
Yeah, I kind of love
Because he felt that he always wanted to get a physics degree and now he's going to get it. So yes, no, we don't think you're ever going to be too late. Annie, do you want to pick one of our questions?
I want to do this one. My mum now sends me voice notes that are 3 minutes long, but it's not really her talking. It's just her mostly breathing. Do I need to listen? Do I need to respond? What's your advice?
Is that from my child? I don't do voice notes. I do those on WhatsApp, you know, when you get the video notes and it's in a circle. I send them to you quite a lot.
But you know why I enjoy that? Actually, you taught me that. I've never done a video note before until I started WhatsApping you. And I was like, okay, that's quite fun. I think the issue here isn't necessarily the voice note, it's the fact it's mostly breathing. Like Darth Vader, like,
Sometimes from the inside of a handbag as well.
yeah. Like, like, my mum knows that I always get worried about her with voice notes because I'm scared that she'll accidentally like have it on and then we'll be discussing something. And therefore I worry sometimes that my phone might be voice noting someone. And it's one of those things that you're like, that's such a neurotic worry. And one time that actually did happen to us. And like, I told Angie about this. It was like a grenade was being thrown around the car. We were like, delete it.
Yeah.
I think you just have to have a frank, honest conversation with Mumsy and be like, Mum, love the voice notes. Let's just, what do you think?
What? Let's just what?
Make it more concise, or just make it more intentional. Like, I don't mind a 3-minute voice note as long as it's like, there's a reason. You can't just be breathing.
No, it can't just be breathing, and it sometimes is really annoying because it takes up time to listen, and it's
Yeah.
like the voice note is nearly as irritating as someone phoning you, right? Although I love people that phone me and I phone people,
Yeah.
but it's nearly as irritating. But what I would say is, and I'm reading a book at the moment about love and love in all its
I
forms,
love that.
and that's just reminded me of something that's here in my bag.
Oh my gosh, which book is that?
It's called Conversations on Love.
Mm.
And and it says this is what, and I read this at class this morning at yoga to the group because I thought, given the amount of crap going around in the world, the one thing that we can do is we can uh, manage how we react to other people. And one of those things is noticing, do we notice these subtle opportunities for love which are woven through our daily lives? I used to think love was the feeling hanging between me and my mum on a phone call, a mix of what I felt for her and what she felt for me. But I now understand that love was the act of switching the way I respond to the moment, the intention and the choice to consciously focus on that conversation. And we should seek to see love in this way as an action, not a feeling. So, and there's another bit that I will find later, but about, that voice note from your mum,
Yeah.
even if it's breathing, when it's not there, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
So there's a balance to be had. So there's a practical thing, I think, of going, "Mum, that's me. Stop sending me bloody voice notes and just, 'Hello, boys, are you all right? I'm walking in the park.'" As if they've got nothing else to do than listen to my voice notes. But the reason that I send them, and maybe the reason that whoever's parent has sent them that, is because they just want to be connected
I think so.
and just show that they love you.
And I think the root of
So
that,
suck it up. All the breathing.
when it's not there, you'll miss it.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You want to pick the next one?
Um, okay. I'm dating someone 8 years younger. I think this refers to our, if you haven't watched our episode on Age of Attraction on Netflix, I'm dating someone 8 years younger. Is this odd?
You know what? Our Age of Attraction episode, I've had a lot of people message me about that. It's
Hmm.
caused a lot. It was only like a Jen and 10, like, so a little episode. It's caused a lot of chat. 8 years younger, that's an awkward, that's not enough for it to be like, oh my gosh, flash out, that's a bit odd.
Don't you think?
8 years? How old did they say how old they were?
Oh,
So just 8 years younger. All right.
so 30 to 22.
I think that's a bit odd. Either way, even if it's a man and a girl, if it's a girl and a, I
Doesn't
think
matter which way.
I
Yeah.
think 22, you're not emotionally. I feel like you're still developing. I look
Mm.
back at me and I'm 24 now, but 22 was in 2 years ago, and I think, oh, there was quite a leap in just those couple of years.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no.
What about then 53 and 46? Was that
That's
seven?
fine.
Was it 7 or 8?
8.
Eight.
That
Okay.
that's fine. I think that's totally fine. Whichever way around, whatever, that is fine. I just think it's like it depends where you are at in your life. Even like 32 and 40, fine. Like if a 32-year-old dating a 40-year-old, fine, because they're a grown adult who can make their own decisions. But if you're 22,
Well, so you're not a grown adult at 22.
no, I don't.
Is that what you're saying?
You are a grown adult in theory, but I still think you have so much developing to do. And that's not for everyone. That's not a blanket rule. Like you see people on Instagram who are 22 and like married with kids and like full on adulting. But my experience of being 22, I was not a full on adult ready to date a 30-year-old. No way. And I don't think many people I know would be either. What do you think?
I think you're right. And
Yeah.
again, I guess you look at it from, it's the percentage of your life of the difference, isn't it? Yeah. So someone that's 20, even going out with a 24-year-old,
Yeah.
that's, what is it, a
Yeah.
fifth? Yeah, 20% of your life different.
Yeah.
So 20 going out even with, 28
Yeah.
is maybe too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas when you're 45, someone who's 45 given and someone who's 55, probably there's, well, maybe that's a bit too much.
Well, no,
I don't
even then,
know.
I don't think that's that weird because I think at that point you could have also lived similar life experiences. You could have all,
Mm,
you could be divorced, have kids, have done this, have left this job, have done that. You would have experienced quite a lot of life.
mm,
Whereas I just don't think many 22-year-olds would have
yeah.
experienced that much life. This is like a very sweeping generical statement.
Yeah.
But if we're talking like the average,
So it's to do with your own life
yeah,
attitude and
yeah,
your age. And, some people, yeah.
I
Okay.
would say so.
Right, next one. Thank you to Jane. This is coming from Jane. It's on my phone.
Cheers.
See, it's a real these are real questions from real people. Jane said, oh, hang on. Now I have to learn how to work my phone. Um, is labeling someone with a name within the family constellation a way of including them or sidelining them? For example, a friend of mine has a pet name for her mother-in-law because she doesn't want to call her either by her Christian name or mum. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I find this interesting because I know people who do this, and thank you to Jane. Also, I love the notion of a family constellation. I think that's quite a beautiful phrase.
It's a thing from neuro-linguistic programming.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's a term of endearment. I think it depends. It depends a little bit what the phrase is, but I know people who do this. I was saying to you when we were going through questions before, they give each other like little like pet names and like it's quite. And for them, it's a term of endearment. Like if you get a nickname, you're probably well in. But this is like okay. So I've been watching on Disney Plus. I'm a little bit obsessed with it. The JFK love story with Carol. Have you seen? Okay, it's like basic and there's a scene that's kind of gone round on Instagram of they all have to write if they want breakfast the next day and coffee. And JFK Jr. didn't write for Caroline. Again, whether this happened or not, but this is just a fictional.
Oh, so it's like The Crown, is it? But for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He didn't write that she wanted breakfast, so she didn't get breakfast the next day or something like that.
Right.
So it's like when are you in with like
Or when are you in with the family?
yeah. So I think it was a term of endearment, giving them a family constellation thing. I think that's like, and a nickname is lovely. And then you'd start to be paranoid. Or the opposite. If you're the only one with a nickname and everyone gets called their normal names, then you'd feel like the outside. It's basically, I think, what means you're in. That's I
Mm.
do. That's what I think it is. If they all don't have nicknames and then you're called Bunny, or like blonde number five, or like, oh, she's the actress, like he's dating the actress. Or do you remember the musician? Or do you remember when he dated the scientist? If it was like, oh, I'm just another nickname on your bike, how rude. But if it's like, oh yeah, like Tarkers or Mitzi, and that's their nicknames for each other, and you don't have a nickname, I'd be fuming. So you just don't want to be the outsider, do you?
You definitely don't want to be the outsider.
And you wanna be different from maybe other previous
But also,
partners.
you don't necessarily want to be on the inside straight away, I
Not on
think.
the street. It'd be weird if you showed up and, like, the first couple times you were in I think this is, like, if you're a year, couple years down the line. If you're like, "No, I'm here to stay, I'm part of the furniture." So, like
I think there's an endearing thing about being
yeah.
of loving some for me, it comes back to love, the idea
Yeah.
of love, that if you love someone enough to give them a pet name, I think it's quite sweet.
I agree.
I think you probably have to ask them if they want to be called it, though. Like, if you started calling me Bunny, I'd be quite annoyed. Can I just say that I know the viewers and listeners will have noticed that Annie's pet names are Bunny, Tarquin, basically, and
Mitzi.
Mitzi. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm thinking of also, like, I conveniently went to, like it feels quite dynasty or something to have, like, nicknames 'cause it fit
Indian families actually have a lot of nicknames.
they?
Yes, so it's really, really common for Indian families because I don't know whether it's because the names were quite long. So my auntie is called Pratibha,
Yeah.
but everyone calls her Bubbly.
I love that
And
name.
it's called Bubbly from when she was, whatever age.
Is that 'cause of Pratibha, like,
I don't
bubbly?
know. I don't know, but they call her Bubbly.
Bubbly's so sweet though, isn't
So
it?
my uncle's called Surinder, but everyone calls him Chinde. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether, and so there are a lot of Bubblies and Pinkies, like
Pinky's
my
fab
a
though.
lot of Pinkies. And actually, even my
Yeah.
son, his name's Taran, but we call him Buddy.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. 'Cause then you started talking about Taryn and I was like, "Who is Taryn?" And
Yeah.
you're like, "No, it's Buddy."
But he's the only one with a, well, and then actually, my ex-husband, Mark, I always called him Eddie. Mark
Really?
Edwards. Yeah, Mark Edwards. And I called him Eddie right from the beginning.
Wow.
And then my sister and my family all called, well, no, actually just me and my sister, but a few of us all called him Eddie.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm not sure I asked him, but I think you probably need to be asked.
Well, I've started seeing a guy, a little intel for the pod.
She's gonna tell us.
I started seeing a guy and he won't call me Annie because it's the same name as one of his older relatives and trying not to give any.
Great aunt.
Yeah.
Great Aunt Annie.
Yeah. And so he's like, I can't call you Annie. It's like too close to home. So he's like, do I need a nickname for you? And we're so early into dating. I'm like, well, you can't pick a nickname and be like, this is your nickname. Like what you said about like your ex-husband, like it's like it just happens
Over time.
organically. But I'm also like, I realized the other day, I don't think he's ever called me Annie. And he's like, no, I just can't. It's because it's someone else's. So I can't.
There's so many things I want to ask you about that. But then we might have to put an 18 rating on the podcast. So we might have to have some after hours episodes.
Basically, overall, I think our consensus is term of endearment, like bubbly, bubbles,
Bubbly.
bubbly. So I just think, by the way, wins.
Not
That's
bubbly,
amazing.
but bubbly.
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 That's fantastic.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
fantastic.
So there you go. Okay. I think you should read that one.
My mum thinks I have a TikTok addiction. I think my mum thinks I have a TikTok addiction. I think she thinks AI is human. She hasn't accepted cookies because her data might go to China, but she's therapizing herself on AI.
I think this might be one of my sons because we have had a 20-year or however long it's been that the internet has been invented argument about, when they're on an app or whatever, and
Yeah.
it comes up with, do you want cookies? They just go, yes, accept. And I still, to this day, go, no. And I go through and I, turn them all off. And then I go, selected choices only because I don't want anyone having my data.
Basically, Angie used that meme. I was just trying to find it of when it's like you accepted too many cookies from China and you accepted too many cookies and now you're fighting for China in World War III.
But I haven't seen that. But so I don't want someone else having all my data or knowing what I've been browsing on IKEA. But that's a national secret.
But do you not find it annoying when you're like trying to browse a website and they're like, you have to subscribe, otherwise you need to accept cookies?
That's the difference between subscribing and cookies. Then I generally give them the big key and go, well, if you need my data that badly, I don't want to be part of this relationship. However, I am, as some of you might know, a big adopter of AI. I think it's really good to know what is going on in the world, and I think we can't hide from it. So I have 2 paid accounts with ChatGPT and with Claude AI, Anthropic, and I use them quite a lot. And actually, this is from my son because he said to me the other day, I can't believe you're putting all this information of yours, sort of do chat to it, do therapy. It comes back with some good ideas sometimes. I know it's not human, boys. I do know it's not human. I call it out quite a lot. And I say,
strict with your ChatGPT.
I'm very strict because sometimes it goes, oh, Angie, that's such a great idea. And I go, shut up, you're a machine. Don't talk to me like that. So actually we're getting, but and I think I've got the settings that it doesn't share my stuff outside, which is what you get when you have a paid account. And
I too have a paid account,
yeah. So maybe I need to go and look at my security settings a bit more. But at this point, Anthropic knows more about me and my life than anybody else on the planet. So maybe that is a bit of a problem. And maybe cookies in comparison doesn't matter.
No, but as a child who's like grown up on it with the internet, I used to Google things if I didn't know. Like I used to be like, I have this mole on my shoulder. What does this mean? And Google would come back with like loads of like information. Whereas it's actually really nice to just have like, I agree, you've got to embrace it. I don't think run from it. Like with ChatGPT, you can do things really quickly. Like sometimes if I have to like write a really long WhatsApp message for work, I'll voice it into ChatGPT and just go, can you just write this up? So don't change my words, but just type it for me.
Do you put personal things like feelings?
Yes,
You talk about feelings.
Yeah, I do.
ChatGPT.
I do that as well. I also use it for a bit of like therapizing myself and be like, oh, this and that, like this happened. What do you think of this? Like I've genuinely done. I've got different like I've done that, and I know my friends do that as well. I have other friends go like they post on their like private stories or whatever. They're like, we can leak your entire phone, but not your chat GPT, or we can leak your chat GPT. And they're like, take my whole phone, take everything. Don't leak my chat GPT. Like I think it's really common. We just don't really talk about it because it's all very new. But like, even just for basic things, like we're planning a holiday next year and we all sat down this morning and used chat GPT as a family to plan a holiday. And we sat there and we were like, how did we actually survive without it? So I think it's actually like most things, learn to use it and use it responsibly, but don't run from it.
What I do think is that there's a really big difference though between TikTok and sort of YouTube Shorts
I agree.
compared to ChatGPT because I only go to ChatGPT, boys, when I need to work on something. Whereas you guys sit on TikTok or, the youth sits on TikTok and just constantly, it's like a fast food diet being, like some sort of conveyor belt being put in.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it seems to me to be really one way.
Like, I even found that like last night because also I get addicted to TikTok because I do a bit of social media as well. I get a bit addicted to it to like see what it is for like, oh my gosh, what trends and that. And I feel like if I don't check it, I'm gonna like not I'm gonna miss what's kind of the new way people are editing. And I have to be really like last night I fell down a TikTok rabbit hole and I literally had to go, oh my God, I'm in a rabbit hole. Like I need to put this down. But like I literally found myself just lost scrolling, which is quite unlike me actually. So
Okay.
watch it.
Sorry, do you want another one? No, it's my go. How many minutes are we?
20.
20. Okay. My mum still introduces me to her friends and people that we meet as my baby. I'm 26. When does this end? What do you think? How does your mum introduce you?
Not as my baby. I'm gonna be really blunt on this. I think that possibly should have ended like maybe 10 years ago. Maybe. Like my baby.
Well, you're her baby. You're the
Yeah, I
youngest
think
one.
you are, but to introduce you as that. Like mum at home will be like, if someone's upset us, my mum will go like, "That's my baby." It's like, like that. But I think if you're like, if my mum introduced me every time to people as my baby, and it wasn't in like a jesty way, I'd be a bit like, "Mum, we've got to." I'd cringe. I don't know if I could actually say it
Okay.
because I think I'd feel bad because it's a term of affection as well. So like that's the thing. Like it's so lovely to have a mum that loves you, who calls you my baby. That's lovely.
Yes.
That is lovely. So I wouldn't. I'm not like, but I'm also sympathising. It is a bit like, oh,
So several years ago, probably a couple of decades ago,
yeah.
my youngest sibling, who's 8 years younger than me, said to my mum, and he's a boy, and if he's normally listening from California, so hello, Gopal's in San Francisco. He was probably 19 or 20 or 21, and he'd come back from university, and his mates had come round um, to home, like where we grew up, and my mum had given him a kiss and a cuddle before they went out to the pub. And then he came back and he said, "Don't cuddle me in front of my friends." And I remember my mum being really upset. Well, I don't know, Sunil, you remember this, but what do you think? I can't help it. So I'm the same. I cuddle the boys.
When you
Before
say
they go.
cuddle, what do you mean? Like, because I associate cuddle with like a prolonged, like, is it like a?
Hi, darling. Have a really nice time.
That's okay. That's a hug.
See you.
That's all right. When you said cuddle, I thought it was like a cradle, like that.
He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot
like,
three.
like, don't leave me.
Well, that's the feeling that you have as a mum, right?
I think that's absolutely fine.
But that's okay.
I think that's absolutely fine. But I also sympathise that like boys are like hormonal and all of this. But I think it changes. I think as you get older and you begin to appreciate your parents more, you then start to go, oh my gosh, how lovely is it that I have a parent that like loves me and all of that. And all of that.
Can your mum cuddle you in front of your friends?
I just don't think she would. It would just not
She
really
doesn't give you a hug. Okay,
we
hug.
hug each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum would hug me in front of my friends. Mum does. Like she goes, oh, but like we're also like we're not a very like cuddly family. We're ridiculously close. And we'd like, like we'd like do anything for each other. But we just don't cuddle. We're just not that. We just like if I give my sister Grace a hug, she's like, "Why are you touching me?"
Really?
Yeah, like I did the brother-in-law trend with my brother-in-law Chris.
What's that?
Where you have to
Brother-in-law
go up
trend?
and give your brother-in-law a hug.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's lovely. But I did it to Chris and he just went, "What is happening right now?"
Do you mean like a prolonged hug or just
Yeah,
like
I
a
just
hug?
went up to him and went, and he was like, "Why?" So we're just not really but cuddlers, but I think like but my mum would give me a hug in front of my mates and it not be weird. But also my mum's
Is that a girl thing? Your mum's very cuddly.
yeah, she's quite affectionate and warm and everything. So,
Yeah.
but I think also with boys it's different. Like I think girls like lots of my female friends are like, "Oh my gosh, I love your mum. I wish I had a mum like your mum." And like they really it's different with girls. Whereas I think if you're a guy, you're like, "Oh, I need to like, grow up and all that."
Do you think then So this is me speaking out loud, like you're my therapist, that I cuddle my sons when their friends are there as some sort of ownership thing. I don't think it is.
I
Ask me
think it
that
is.
question. I don't think it's ownership, but I think it is to say there's a little bit of I'm still important in I'm still important in your life.
Well, I want to know what.
I need to show everyone.
Well, I think to ask this question, we have to answer like not well, at least touch on like mothers and sons because I do think it's different. Like mothers and sons, mothers and daughters. I think there is something in there. So I've openly said like still like not fully because I'm not a mother, but understand mothers of sons a little bit more ever since I had my nephew and godson Arthur because I literally look at him and I'm like, no one will be good enough for you. You are the sun beams down on his head. And I love Evie, my niece, so much, but with Arthur, it's like I have this weird like
That's a bit weird. She's going to listen to this at
no,
some point. This is in the
no,
ether now.
Evie, I love. Evie and me sit there and have gossip sessions on a Friday. Like she's an absolute girly, but I view her as more of like a girly, like sisterly, like we're gonna go and get our nails done. Whereas Arthur, I feel more this like protection over. So it's like
Interesting.
love is the same.
Okay,
but
so I've got a
different.
question for you then.
Yeah.
If you're going out with someone
Yeah.
and you're around their house, they're like parents' house,
Yeah.
mum keeps cuddling, hugging, like not in any weird cuddling. I
Like
say,
they're leaving the house, the mum gives them a hug.
yeah.
I don't think I'd view that as weird.
Or would
I
you feel threatened by it?
I don't think I'd feel threatened by it if me and the mum got along. I think it is only weird when like the mum like you know what I mean. There's all these stories of like mums being like mother-in-laws being like my darling baby, like or Crazy Rich Asian where she says at the top of the stairs she goes is it Michelle Michelle
Yeah.
she goes
I love her.
she's amazing but she goes you will never be good enough for my son. And literally, it's like, oh, like there's that. So I think if the worst I got was a mother-in-law just hugging my partner before we went to the pub, I'd be like, that's lovely. And I think you want them to have a good relationship with their mum. Generally, men who like their mothers or like have siblings or have good relationships with women and females are usually like good eggs. Like, I'm not saying if you have a bad relationship with your mom, you're a bad egg. I'm not saying that. But like, it's usually a positive sign though. It's usually like, oh, they respect women, they like females, if they can have a platonic friendship. I'm usually not intimidated by it because I'm like, that's lovely.
Because you're grounded and secure in your own family style, I think, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's like
I think that's a lovely thing to say. So thank you.
Yeah.
So I've got permission to cuddle my sons
100%.
in front of their girlfriends.
Yeah, I think it just shows they've got a positive relationship with their mother, and that's how nice is that? And it usually means they respect women quite a lot, as I think, as well. That's what I've noticed with my male friends. They love their mums and they tend to be like very respectful towards women.
And I'll try not to be Michelle O.
Yeah, just there's a difference between hugging your son and you will never be good enough for my son at the top of
It's an Asian mother trope. And I think I'm pretty much in it, right? And I've got 2 sons as well, so it's...
You're not an Asian mother trope. You are far from
You
it.
see me with the boys.
I don't think you are at all. I really, really do. I would joke about it if you were. It'd be too easy to make a joke about if you
You think?
Yeah. Our next question, I think, is going to be quite a heated one, is my mother claps when where is it?
Yeah, that one came in on the text.
So this is from Jake. My mother claps when the plane lands. I used to cringe. Now I'm considering joining in. Is this how it starts? Well, Jake, there's no shame. There's a lot of plane watching groups in London. There's an all-female one.
Is there?
There is, actually.
Okay. I sometimes clap when the plane lands.
I didn't think you would. I thought you'd be like, that's so embarrassing.
If everyone is clapping, or if you've had a hairy landing, it's just relief. Not always. Not always.
I think I have once or twice. You know when it's like
It's just like your heart stops.
Yeah.
And then it's just a relief.
and that pilot is like the most attractive person ever because you're just thinking about them landing the plane, being like,
The surgeon.
yeah, it's like saving lives, like rah.
And I think also, the world's a mixed up, hairy place. It's just getting to where you're going. It's a relief, right?
When people are like fleeing Dubai, like yeah,
It's actually a relief to get going. What I also think though is well, you know me now.
yeah.
If there's a public outpouring of any sort of emotion, I want to be in there. I'm not sitting back.
This is true.
I'm not sitting back. I want to be there. And actually, quite often I want to be leading it.
Yeah, you want to be the first to clap.
Way.
But you
I can do a cheer.
But you said to me that your sons, what do they say to you? They're like, you're just so embarrassed.
They just find me so embarrassing.
But is that not just like a children and parent thing though?
Talking to strangers, because I talk to
My mum
strangers.
does,
Does she?
yeah. Yeah, tax black cab drivers.
Yeah, that's it. You told me that story.
Yeah,
Tell,
yeah.
tell everyone the story about you this week.
Well, to cut a long story short, basically, my mum loves to get a black cab whenever we're in London. We were in London. Mum was like, please can we get a black cab? And I was like, fine, fine, fine. So I caved, got into the black cab, and I was just not really wanting to chat. I was just being a bit grumpy. Okay, I'll admit it. And my mum was like, save the day, and like talking to the black cab driver. She's very charming. And then the guy said, "Oh, what do you do?" And I said, "Yeah, I do a bit of teaching, some on Easter holidays." And he was like, "Oh, that's great." And then my mother went, "Actually, she's going to Lord's to care for people."
She's going to Lord's this weekend, not Lord's Lords, the cricket ground.
I'm going to Lord's to help adults with disabilities, which is a wonderful thing, and my mother is very proud. Thank you, mother.
We're all proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm very excited. It's the happiest week of the year. I'm not going to lie. It's very happy and lovely. Anyway, by pure coincidence, the taxi driver goes, "Oh my gosh, my daughter is going to Lord's on Sunday, called Ellie, and she has a form of dwarfism, and it's her favourite week of the year because she is not judged and she's with people and no one's looking at her and she's just seen to be Ellie rather than Ellie with, like this
Yeah.
Down syndrome." And so he was really emotional. It was a really emotional, wonderful chat. So just goes to show you, when you're being a right grumps, talk to strangers because you actually might form a really lovely connection. But he said it made his day. So
So that for me is it about the talking to
yeah,
strangers? Is that and really my kids find it so like bum clenchingly embarrassing.
yeah,
And in fact, Buddy will sometimes wander off because we're just like, oh, freaking hell, here you go, she's going again. I feel like I've met some really interesting people and made some beautiful connections.
yeah.
Right. I remember my mum sitting next to me once. We were going to a thing in London and I got we were on the tube and I got my hand cream out of my handbag and I put some hand cream on because I always have dry hands. And then I noticed the lady next to me on the other side was looking at the hand cream. So I offered her some hand cream. And we
Oh,
ended up chatting, and she was going to go and sing in a concert in a choir in a church. And we ended up chatting, and now follows my newsletter.
oh,
But my mum was absolutely mortified as well. That I'd
really?
spoken to a stranger.
Really?
Yeah. That, why did you do that? Why are you doing that? You know what? You're drawing attention to yourself. So I don't know. I think that emoting in public
Yeah,
is a good thing generally
yeah,
because I think people need connection at the moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think there's probably a level at which it goes over the line, and I
That
know
is
that
lovely.
quite often I am over the line. I would be the person that on a miserable day, or if the lights go out on the train carriage,
I was just about to say the train carriage.
I would want to get everyone singing.
I was about to say, you'd be the person who'd be like, should we sing Kumbaya?
Yeah.
And he wants a little bit of Olivia Dean, Man I Need. What's that? You know, the Come Be the Man I Need. So,
I have no idea what
Angie.
I've got no idea what.
But like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was just about to say you'd be the person to sing on a train carriage. I
Yeah.
think it's a lovely trait. And
Or I'd be
actually,
like, "Come on, everyone. Is everybody okay? Has anyone got water for this lady?" Like, I'm the person that if there's someone looking, hyperventilating,
yeah.
I'll find someone with a glass of water. So even today on the way here, there was a lady with her bump on board badge
Yeah.
and no
So
arsehole on the train was giving her the seat. So I said, "Come on, shall we get you a seat?"
yeah, yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
had
yeah.
her partner with her as well.
Yeah.
But he was just standing there going, "Oh, no one's giving us a seat." It's like, come on, man, pull your finger out of your bum and ask someone to get up.
Yeah, mega ick. Mega
Yeah.
ick.
So
Yeah,
I think that general emoting in public is a good thing. We
I
have to
agree.
remember we're all humans.
And also, like, like with the thing with my mum on the weekend, can actually make someone's day. And I also think that's why you have so many friends. You draw a lot of people and attract a lot of good energy. And I think it's because you are so open to connection. I think it is like, if we're talking like energy and universe, sort of,
But then also, should you think about the person that you're with and whether that emoting of energy outwards, again, it's a bit like the pet name, do you need to take their feelings into account before you be yourself?
it's fine. Because, like I said, like, if they don't want to talk to someone, as long as you're not like with a mate and you ignore the mate and you're like, hello, I'm going to talk to you and give all my energy to you randomly.
I did that the other day because I was with someone who I don't know very well yet. And
Yeah.
all the conversation was a little bit awkward, and I turned the
As your sister would. No, what did your
yeah, it's
sister?
not, maybe we'll leave that one.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But also, yeah,
Yeah,
at what point do you draw it back? So
yeah.
you could clap on the plane, but
Mm.
do you want to be the person leading the clapping? I think they're two different things. Who's the first person to clap on the plane? So to our
To Jake.
Jake, yeah, there's a difference between joining in the clapping and being the first clapper. Maybe. Did we answer that one? Being the first clapper. Is that a rude said?
No, it just makes me laugh. Not clapping bum cheeks. That's nice.
Mike, you can put that in an outtake. Do we have any more questions?
Let's finish on one last one. Go for it. It's such a fun episode. I've really enjoyed this one. Should this just be the podcast now? Is that we just voice our opinion on scenarios?
Anybody knows anyone at The Guardian,
Oh, yeah.
or anything, any other publication like that who might want a multi-generational Agony Aunt duo, or someone to talk about multi-generational issues, please can you put us forward? And we would like to, we'd love to do this.
We want to
a
be
bit
your
more.
agony aunties.
My parents don't understand my relationship choices. I don't understand theirs. Is this just the circle of life?
We're going to leave this one anonymous for the sake of the person's privacy. I think initially when I heard relationship choices, are they someone who's like, is it because they're living like a different sort of relationship? Is it like they're, I d- no, actually, no, might take that bit out.
I think we might not answer this one.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just going to get us into trouble.
I think there's no way we can, because immediately I was like, they're in a throuple and the parents don't understand it.
Or what? I don't know how to.
Yeah.
So I
Same with
read
choice
this thing.
custard.
No, yeah, I read this thing the other day about ethical non-monogamy.
Oh.
Have you heard of that?
What's
That's
that when they
definitely
agree to be not in a monogamous.
Yeah.
They
It's
agree to
definitely not a Gen. What am I? Gen X.
It's
It's
an open
definitely not a
relationship.
Gen X thing. That
No.
having labelled. Yeah,
No. Can I be so real?
I
Like,
think it's cheating.
I don't have the strength of character for it. I'm a strong individual. I like myself, but I want the person I'm with to only be with me. And you know what? I totally respect what other people do. Freedom of choice, like personal freedom. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. But personally, for me, oh God, no! Just please be with me and only me. Thank you so very much.
And would you tell your mum and dad you were in an ethical, non-monogamous relationship? To me, it just sounds like cheating.
Yeah, I could.
But so I guess I have a moral objection to something like that, and also this idea that you just keep naming stuff,
Yeah.
giving them new names and new acronyms just to make it sound like it's okay.
Is it?
Maybe
is it what
I'm a
relationship
dinosaur.
is that what it
I
is?
believe so.
I just couldn't. It's just not for me. I really like to.
Would you tell your mum and dad though? That's the question.
I mean,
Or would your mum and dad, if you were mum and dad in an ethically non-monogamous relationship, would you tell your kids?
it's a notorious thing on cruises, right? Because
How do you know?
Because we've gone on a lot of cruises as a family, and I remember one time we saw a pineapple on the door suite of one of the rooms, and I remember I was
Like a real pineapple. Hang on, a real
like
pineapple.
it was like a sticker or something,
Okay.
a pineapple, and I was like, "Mom, Dad, what's that about?" And they were like, "Oh," and my sisters were laughing, and they were like, and then they were like, "It means they're open to swinging," and it's a thing.
No.
And then Facebook group, they put like pineapples up. So me and my sisters had a deep dive on this and had a right giggle. But on cruises, it's an actual thing. Like these like middle-aged couples go on these cruises. I think particularly on American ships. Sorry, I'm outing it. And they put pineapples on their doors to say that they're okay with swinging. I think it is pineapples. Yeah, like upside
Isn't it
pineapple.
such a sheltered life? What do you know about these things? Blimey.
Yeah.
Well, on which note?
If you see any upside down pineapples, it's not decor.
Because I've been upside down pineapple.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, hang on, just while I wrap up, Annie's going to check that because it's important that we know. Thank you very much for watching our first inaugural Agony Aunt, Annie and Angie, Agony Aunts across the ages.
It's true. On the cruise ship, people in the swingers community will put a pineapple in their stateroom door to let others know. If the pineapple is upside down, it means the couple is actively looking for others to have fun with. I mean, live your best life, do what you want, but it's not limited to a Gen Z thing, is what I'm trying to say. This is a multi-generational thing, people. If anything, Gen Z has stolen it from the greater generations.
Lord above. Thank you, as ever, for watching or for listening. And thank you to the wonderful
Wilfred's Reinventing the Spritz. Thank you so very much for sponsoring this season of the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you to Mike for his wonderful editing. Thank you to Mel, our photographer. It's not the end of the series, but just nice to do.
A little mid-season thank you.
Thank you.
Easter, goodwill.
Yeah, happy Easter. Thank you, Annie, for being my fabulous podcast
Thank you for being my friend.
And we'll see you next time. If you've got any questions, keep sending them in and we'll save them up and we'll do another episode soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.